Hey everyone, and welcome to Vibrations and Manifestations. Today we're diving into a really powerful metaphor for manifestation that comes from a place you might not expect, the humble mushroom. We're going to uncover what it can teach us about trusting the process, especially during those times when it really feels like nothing is happening. Let's get into it. So, have you ever been there? I mean, you're doing the work, you're visualizing, you're journaling, you're trying to keep your vibe high, and you're met with, well, crickets. It's that super frustrating feeling where you're putting in all this energy, but your reality just looks exactly the same.
But what if that silence isn't really empty? What if all the work is being done just in a place you can't see? This is the big idea we're playing with today, that the most important part of creation, a lot of the time, happens completely out of sight. To really get what's happening beneath the surface of our own lives, we're going to look to the mushroom for some clues. The part we actually see is just the grand finale. The real work, the true growth, that's all happening underground, totally out of sight. So this whole hidden operation is run by something called mycelium. You can think of it like the forest's own internet. It's this huge, intelligent network that connects everything, breaks down old stuff, and makes the soil rich and ready for new life. It's doing all the heavy lifting in the dark, long before a single mushroom ever pops up. And this is such a brilliant parallel for our own lives, right? That mycelium network, that's the web of unseen connections the universe is weaving for you right now. The decay and debris it feeds on, well, those are your setbacks, your challenges. And the rich soil it creates is that perfectly aligned environment for your desires. And the mushroom itself, that's the final beautiful manifestation that just suddenly appears in your world. And this is where the metaphor gets really, really juicy. Those setbacks and challenges we all face, they are not punishments. They're not signs you're doing it wrong. They're actually essential fuel. They are the compost that feeds your growth. There's this powerful spiritual teaching that says you never get it wrong and you never get it done. And what this means is that every single experience, especially the tough ones, is just a launching point. It gives you more clarity. Nothing is ever wasted. It's all just being woven into that mycelial network of your life, creating this incredibly fertile ground for what you're asking for. So we can actually learn to consciously alchemize this contrast. It's kind of a three-step process. First, the setback happens. It is what it is. Second, we make a conscious choice to see it as fuel, not as a failure. And third, we just trust that this process is nourishing the unseen growth of what we truly desire. And there are two really beautiful ways you can do this. You can use it as fuel. This is kind of the alchemical approach where you channel that intense emotional energy into your creative work or into taking action. Or you can offer it up, which is more of a spiritual practice, where you just surrender the pain and trust that a higher intelligence is handling it, transmuting it for you. Honestly, they are both incredibly powerful. All right, so now that we know how to handle the compost, how do we actually cultivate the soil? Because just like a mushroom, your desires need the right conditions to actually fruit, to pop into your physical reality. So what are those conditions? Well, it really boils down to three things. Your desire is the seed, your belief is the water and the sunlight that helps it grow, and surrender is trusting the soil. It's knowing that the mycelium is doing its work and not digging up the seed every 5 minutes to see if anything's happening yet. So, if belief and surrender create these perfect conditions, how do we actively cultivate them? Let's talk about 3 really practical tools, all inspired by our mushroom metaphor, to help you tend to your own inner garden. First up, the Compost Journal. Instead of just writing about what went wrong, you consciously reframe it by asking a new question. What clarity is this giving me about what I do want? And there's some cool science behind this. The simple act of asking that question actually helps shift your brain activity out of the reactive fight-or-flight center and into the thoughtful problem-solving part of your brain. It literally moves you from panic into a state of clarity. Second, try scattering what I call spores of intention. These are just light, low-pressure intentions you can release throughout your day, like, I'm open to some unexpected joy today. What this does is it programs your brain's internal filter, the reticular activating system. Basically, you're telling the bouncer of your brain what to look for. And so by planting these little intentions, you're telling your brain to start actively scanning for evidence and opportunities that match. And third, start noticing your mycelium moments. These are the tiny synchronicities, the right song coming on the radio, or an unexpected conversation that feels significant. Just acknowledging them is so important. When you notice one and you think, there's a sign, you are actively strengthening the neural pathways between your intention and your reality. You're literally building a feedback loop of belief right inside your own brain. All of these tools, you see, they lead us right back to the central theme, to the most important nutrient for our vibrational garden, trust. It's all about letting go of the how and the when and just having faith in that unseen process. I absolutely love this analogy. Every single time you worry or doubt or get impatient, you're basically digging up the seeds to check if they're growing, which, of course, just disrupts the whole process. Your dreams aren't missing. They are not lost. They are simply maturing in the dark, fertile ground of potential. So, if you take just one thing away from our little chat today, let it be this affirmation. Make it your mantra for when that doubt starts creeping in. Go ahead and say it with me. Feel it in your body. I trust what's growing beneath the surface. Now, if you want to take this even further, you can find a guided visualization in the full-length episode on the Vibrations and Manifestations podcast. It's designed to help you connect with your own unseen network. Thank you so much for joining me, and remember to trust the magic that's growing just beneath the surface.